What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Tonight we are out cruising, living it up, discussing. I think the topic that I want to discuss tonight is basically just going over. I have so many people asking turbo setup, how to turbo their car, how can I do this, how about this, and how do you successfully turbo a car? And I'm going to give you some insight into it. I do, however, believe that to a certain point, if you are asking that question, maybe you shouldn't be turboing the car. It sounds like people are pretty new into the car modifying game or whatever. It might be a little bit out of your league at that point. However, I also believe that everyone has a beginning, everyone starts at the bottom, and it is kind of up to the more experienced people to kind of pave the way and teach the beginners how to do things. You don't have to be selfish. You don't have to not tell them just because they don't know what's going on. It's always good to spread the knowledge, spread your knowledge. It's what it's all about, learning. So, yeah, in a way I'm like, wow, do a little bit of research before you start asking all of these questions. But I'm also seeing where you guys are coming from, because I was the exact same way. I was emailing all these companies trying to figure out how to do this stuff, and no one would answer me back, and I just kind of did it. I've always kind of been like that. Kind of get a good idea of how things work mechanically, and then just take it and run. So we kind of worked our way through all of the mechanical stuff with building the engine and swapping the transmission. Wasn't the end of the world. It wasn't crazy hard, but it was difficult. Definitely not easy to do. But yeah, so anyway, a parts list. If you're going to turbo your car, what do you need? Big things you are going to need. Obviously, exhaust manifold. This car, I have the SPA turbo exhaust manifold, which is for the T3 turbo. I think they also do make a T25 turbo manifold, but I'm not 100% sure. And then you're going to need a turbo, of course. This car, I am running a CX Racing single ball bearing turbo, which is kind of like an odd turbo. If someone was running a ball bearing turbo, they're going to run a dual ball bearing turbo, not a single ball bearing turbo. However, these turbos seem to work. They don't seem that bad, but you could definitely do a lot better. Get one of their like dual ball bearing racing line turbos. So besides the turbo, besides the manifold, you are going to need some fueling mods. So 440cc injectors. You will need Bosch 440. They're 42-pound Green Giant injectors. And to my knowledge, every 2.0 turbo tune that I have seen, they use the Bosch Green Giant injectors. And there are plenty of 440cc injectors out there. However, dead times make a huge difference. So if you got your car tuned with one set of injectors and then decided, oh, these injectors look better and look more race car, I'm going to use these injectors, even though they're the same flow rate, the dead times are going to be different. So you swap injectors and the car is still going to run like crap. It might be a little bit closer and it might run a little bit, but for the most part it is not going to work, and you may hurt your engine due to improper fueling at some point in the RPMs or whatever under load. It might not be getting enough fuel because the dead times or how many times the injector or opens is different than what the car was actually tuned for. So that is a huge item. For the most part, if you're running like a lower boost setting, you can get away with the stock fuel pump. However, I would just recommend upgrade it. You can put an inline Walbro 255, or you can put an in-tank Deechworks or Chemzo upgraded fuel pump. I'm sure there's other ones that you can use. Those are the two brands that make like a drop-in upgraded fuel pump that I know of. But yeah, another thing, of course, biggest thing, the tune. Straight up, BMW kid almost just rear-ended the fuck out of me. But anyway, now I lost my train of thought. I don't even know where I was. We were talking about fueling stuff, all that. A tune. So you're gonna need the tune for the car. I know of two companies that make a tune for the Mark IV 2.0 forced induction engines. We've got C2 Motorsports, which is what we are running on the car currently, and then there's United Motorsports, and those are the only two companies that I know of. You could get a standalone ECU, so you can run like a Mega Squirt and get someone to tune it locally. I'm sure someone would do the wiring and wire it up like that, and you'd be able to make a lot more power than the off-the-shelf tune. But if you want like a plug-and-play turbo kit, then you can always send your ECU off to United Motorsports. I know C2 kind of pulled back and they want people to go in person now, at least from what I've seen. They don't have their website up anymore, so I think they're trying to just get a steady set of clients that are actually local to them, and not so much of like a wide reach. When you start doing like off-the-shelf tunes and stuff, it does get a lot more difficult than just your local community of people. You can always take care of your clientele a little bit better if they're more centralized and local to you. It's just a lot easier to manage, so I understand that, especially from like a tuner's aspect, having a bunch of random people always hitting you up. My tune is wrong. Hey, can you help me with this? I don't know how to do this. That is probably the most annoying thing for tuners, is everyone just expects their car to be a rocket ship all the time. But yeah, so those are some basic things. If you ever did want to turbo your car, that is all stuff you have to look into. Of course, you're going to need an exhaust. When I first turboed, or when I first was looking at turboing my car, I didn't want to do it because I was going to have to make my own exhaust or dump pipe or whatever, and I didn't know how to weld. I didn't want to use Brady for welding all the time, and honestly, it really isn't that terrible. You can get a flux core welder and learn how to do some welding. All of the exhaust pipes that you buy in like these kits are all slip fit joints, so they all slide into the other pipe. So technically all you would have to do, if you didn't want to weld all the way around the pipe, is just slip it in and then tack it around the edges. Of course you're going to have leaks, but it is a start. It is, I don't know, a way to get you started and get an exhaust and all of that. Of course you can go all the way around because it's not that easy to burn through that pipe. It'll happen, you'll learn how to turn the power down and get a consistent weld around the edge. So that is always cool. And then intercooler pipes, those are super easy to work with. Bunch of couplers, bunch of pipes, and a bunch of hose clamps, and then as you go you will learn how to efficient, whether it's getting someone to weld a few of the intercooler pipes together and reduce your amount of couplers, because couplers mean more chances of boost leaks. I don't know, it's just a learning game. And once you kind of take on the project and accept that it's not going to be perfect from the start, then you're going to be a lot better off. Some huge tips that I can say to any car guy or car girl that is just starting out: buy some tools, do some basic projects on your car, whether it's cleaning out your air filter, cleaning your cabin filter, or taking out your cabin filter and replacing that, changing your oil, just inspecting little things on the car. Take off a plastic cover, put it back on, take it off, figure out what's underneath, put it back on. Just kind of getting familiar with the whole car itself, that makes it so much better. You'll learn how to do stuff so much better. And yeah, I don't know, that is a huge thing. Everyone's too afraid to touch the car and always just wants to send it to the shop to get work done. But I don't know, that's not always the best method for learning. So if you're trying to learn, if you're trying to be one of those super sick mechanics or car people, whatever, with like the sickest car, you either have to have deep pockets because you're taking your car to the shop all the time, or you have a good understanding of how things work and you're kind of just making it happen on your own. Whether it's sketchy or not, you're just doing it up. So that is always something that I think about, and something that I wish I could tell to the new car people. Things aren't always perfect, and yeah. Alright, so anyway, that is a little bit of insight. I want to learn how to get a flow on these videos to where I can kind of get straight to the point and not go off on these tangents. It's a little bit harder than you think, but it's always been like one of my goals to have like a interesting podcast or talking video or something like that. So we're working on it and we'll figure out how to do this stuff. But yeah, that is a little insight from me to you on how to modify a car and just basic stuff like that. So anyway, guys, thank you guys for listening and watching, even though it's a little bit boring. Oh my god, my throat is so dry. Talking that much is so much harder than you think. Shout out to all the guys that do like podcasts with no water on hand. That's absurd. Y'all crazy. But anyway, so that is going to be it for that video. We can go deeper on that subject. We can go all day. It's a little bit hard because I was kind of just off the top of my head, but that is definitely one of the questions that I'm asked the most. How to turbo the car, what makes for a successful turbo kit, all of that stuff. And I feel like those are some valid points to bring up for you guys. Let me know in the comments what you guys want to hear, what you guys want to see. I'll probably have some like separate poll videos or something. This is more of like an informative drive, I guess, rather than just out here just ripping around town. Just trying to spread some information, teach you guys some things, spread what I know to you guys. So yeah, could be cool. So anyway, peace out. We'll see you guys on the next drive episode, and yeah, we're chilling.